Jared, what is this? Can you explain?
Dude, watch that. I'm about to dive straight into fucking leaves, dude. Working on a drip build, so, you know.
To-do list? Do we know what we're doing with this?
Sort of. Not
This
really.
is straight roadkill style.
This
Look at all
is-
the grease marks on it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay.
Just do a sweet pan down.
That's a dog on their door. Okay. So basically, this car's been sitting in the backyard for years upon years. It's an 88 RX-7 FC. It's been in here for, what, like 2 weeks?
Yeah,
And-
it's like right at 2 weeks because it was last weekend when I was over here.
And we came down here and we looked at it and had no motivation whatsoever, so it sat here. And then,
It sat here with it had an engine in it. Last time I was here.
yeah, it did. Okay, so we got Papa Smurf back here and started, you know, doing a little stuff. Got the motor out. In the meantime, while we were waiting to get the motor out, I took a little road trip to North Carolina. It was an 8-hour round trip from here in South Carolina to close to Fayetteville. We got this beast right here, good God almighty.
The thing is really heavy. It's no
Yeah.
joke.
And
That's
we got
factory
the
turbo.
factory
for an
turbo for the
RX-7.
Turbo 2 RX-7s, yeah. And it's actually pretty decent size. I think we'll be able to crank some good boost out of this.
The only issue.
But we have to rebuild it, of course, because, you know, look at that shaft play. Mad shaft
You
play.
don't even have to move it. You can just see the fins are all just...
Yeah, they're completely rounded. Yeah.
That turbo and the factory intercooler
And the manifold.
and the manifold.
For
$100.
$100.
And 8 hours of your life wasted on
Yeah,
the road.
that was terrible. I wish I'd have asked him how much he would have charged me just to ship it down here.
I mean, oh god.
But
Haggard does like 13-hour round trips to go get parts.
anyway, a lot of work. Big project car. The steering rack's gonna have to be attended to. I think I figured out the clutch problem, the diagnosed clutch over there.
Yeah.
I think what happened when the clutch pedal went all the way to the floor and stayed was I think I broke the master cylinder rod, but the reason the clutch wasn't working was because the slave cylinder wasn't hooked up to anything anyway. There was no hydraulic pressure there. Anyway.
Oh.
So yeah, there was no line.
There wasn't anything.
Wasn't a line or anything going to that, yeah. It was just completely. If there was, we cut it.
You could see like there's a gas pedal to the floor, brake, clutch pedal to the floor.
This might. This what is this? It looks like rusted pipe, like rusted rubber. Anyway, I think this might have actually been the clutch lines right here, because that looks like it's coming from the clutch master over here, right out of the top of the master.
Yeah, we get it.
And, yeah. Anyway, so it may have been hooked up, but basically, you know, straight up drift car, we're not going to need half the stuff that was on the motor anyway, or half the stuff's in here. We don't need cruise control. I still want to keep it straightable though, so we're going to keep the windshield wipers.
Just one. Just keep one. You got to go
Just
JDM.
weight reduction.
Yeah. Look
So
at this.
anyway,
Dude, how are we going to know what goes to these?
that's the thing. We're going to make a custom wiring harness.
Oh yeah, forgot.
So we're not going to use any of the wiring that's in here. We're going to rip it all out, basically.
This is going to be a fully stripped engine bay?
Eventually. Hopefully, by the time we get done breaking that motor down, we can start on this and just try to completely clean out the engine bay if we can. We're going to be cutting a whole lot of crap and just try to get it as clean as we can. We got the convertible top down after a long, hard week of trying to find out where the screws are that let the motors loose from the control arms. But yeah, everything in here is going to be, everything we need is all we're replacing, but we're replacing pretty much everything that's already here, but just only what we need. Everything else we're taking out. No power steering, no AC, some kind of smog control pump I took off. I think that's right
AC.
there.
Oh, that?
Yeah, whatever that is. I think Papa said it was some kind of smog control shit, and I don't really doubt it because it's a rotary. So, but yeah, that the alternator. So the only thing we're gonna have is the alternator and a water pump running by belts, and that's pretty much it.
Should we show what the water pump looked like when we took
my
it apart?
God. Oh my god.
It's laying right there.
Where's the back? Oh, here's. So it's like a two-piece setup thing, but here's the little wheel that does the pumping. Okay, and that's that's still pretty dirty in there, but this is where the magic happens. Except for some reason everything fell out of it. Where'd it go? There was some nasty, like, look at this, all in. That's probably all in the engine right now.
Let it focus.
And that's why we're doing a rebuild, right there, instead of just trying to get it to start in the condition it's in, because that is disgusting.
When we pulled the radiator out, it had coolant in it. It had oil in it. We turned it over while it was in the car. It turned over real smooth.
Yeah. You
turned it over by hand.
Sucking and the exhaust blowing.
Yeah.
know?
Doing what intake and exhaust does.
But I mean, other than that, we know the motor's not completely locked down. We just know it needs to be rebuilt and only the essentials to run it replaced, so that we can keep our budget cost low as possible.
Rotary drift car on a budget.
Yeah, not fun. Especially for how many times we're probably gonna have to break this motor apart. I already started loosening this. Where's my ratchet?
All right, so what we're doing now, we're just gonna break the motor apart as a first step. Question mark?
I get the feeling.
Is that first step? I get the feeling that goes all the way through.
Yeah, like all the way to here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
And
No,
I'm gonna
it's awfully.
time lapse.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
What's going on? You feel me?
Yeah.
Alright, update. Pulling the intake manifold off, and as we were pulling them off, we discovered how brittle these hoses were. So,
Oh my god.
Alright, check this out.
Look at this. Rubber hose, right? That's not supposed to happen.
That's how crusty
At
this thing
all.
is.
All these hoses are gonna have to be replaced. Ugh. Got the intake like
All these hoses, and look at how many hoses are under there. There are so many
We're so
vacuum
close to
lines
getting this intake off.
everywhere. Like just vacuum lines everywhere. All kinds of fuel lines, oil lines.
So many lines.
I don't understand.
I don't either, but
Mazda, why?
I can tell you right now we're not gonna use but like 2 of these.
Yeah.
We don't need all this shit. Just what's necessary to make it run.
Alright, we're gonna continue getting this intake manifold off, and I'll pick up the camera whenever we get it off. Alright, we got the intake manifold off. It's actually sitting right over here. There's like the top half of the intake manifold, because there's like 3 pieces for some reason. The injectors are still on there. All of that hosing and wiring and I don't really know what is on there.
Yeah.
And then we got this mess. It's so little. It's hard to give a size comparison, like in person.
Put
Like,
a basketball next to it.
it's like the size of a
That's a
basketball.
basketball.
It's so tiny, like extremely tiny.
1.3 liters.
Of 10,000 RPM glory.
Dude, the funny
And we-
thing about this motor is, like, factory specs, this thing makes close to the same power figures as my Honda does, and my Honda's got over 1 liter of displacement on it. It's pretty great. So, and this car's lighter, so assuming we didn't turbo it, this would still already be faster than my Honda, and it would turn 10,000 RPM. So, bad.
So we found the, this is the oil pump to inject oil straight into the rotor housing. And what we were geeking out over this. It was really cool. But those are the injectors for the oil. Like that's its own little fuel rail, oil rail. I don't know what you call
rail,
it.
yeah, I guess.
Oil rail.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the little injectors. Look at that. That's super. I thought that was really cool.
See, that's another thing we could almost pretty much do away with if we pre-mix fuel.
Did you find ratios for oil to fuel mix?
For
If you're gonna,
RX-7?
yeah.
No.
Oh.
But you can. I mean, I just haven't looked. I've never looked into pre-mixing because I've never had one before.
Never had to premix
Never
fuel
had
for
one.
a car.
Never had one that ran before, so
Yeah.
you know, now we might eventually after a while. They look so much. If you watch YouTube videos of people breaking these motors down, the housings always look so big.
What are we doing next? What is this thing?
Didn't you say that was like a governor? You thought?
I don't know. I have no clue. I want to call. It looks like it's in the spot where a governor will be on like a go-kart engine, but I doubt it is.
Yeah, because you're thinking piston engine, and this thing has no pistons or head or anything.
I wonder if it has Cool Ranch or
Because
nacho
two-stroke-
cheese.
Yeah.
Maybe one of each.
Dude.
All right, update on the rotary. We done pulled it off the engine stand. Got the lower intake manifold stuff off, so you can see a whole lot more. You can see all the intake ports and whatnot.
Four-piece intake manifold, if you count the throttle body. I don't have a socket big enough to take that nut off to get the flywheel off. It's so big. I have. What's the biggest one I have over there? What was it, like a 30 something? I don't know. It was huge, but like it wouldn't fit. We're gonna pull that off, and then we're gonna put it on just strictly this one housing if we can find somewhere to bolt it up, so that way we can have the motor facing up, and then so once we get all the bolts out, we can just start pulling plates, different plates off as we go.
Well, it needs to be sitting face down so we can pull these plates off because of how this.
Yeah, well, we can do it that way too. Either
how
way,
rotaries
but what
are.
I'm saying is like it's got to be only attached to one, and we got to figure out how to get it up like this, just straight up. So, like if you took the motor out of the car and just. Okay.
How are we gonna get it to stay like that though? Like, where's it gonna go? I don't know.
On the engine stand.
We're gonna put it on the engine stand like that? How?
We're gonna bolt a couple of these to one of the housings. Like if there were bolt holes right here, we'd bolt it right here, and we'd stick it back in the engine stand, and the motor would do this. See what I'm saying? So this would be sticking up. Then we could get up under there, take those, after we get the flywheel off, we can take those bolts out and we start pulling plates apart. Well, first we got to figure out where we're gonna get a freaking socket big enough to break that.
Parts store's still open if we can make it there in 30 minutes.
Okay, let's go. Road trip.
Really?
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
All right, let's go.
We don't have a tool big enough.
Park store run, go.
First and second, a mile long. Yeah, but we gotta go to the auto parts store at 8:34 to find a socket big enough to take the nut that holds the flywheel off. Thank you for finally dimming your lights, asshole.
They probably thought mine were on bright.
That probably did. Alright, so it is now 8:51, and because of the Christmas season and whatnot, Advanced Auto decided they wanted to start closing at 8 o'clock. And it's 8:51. That was a big bump. So now we're going to go to AutoZone and hope that they're not idiots and stay open till 9 so they can get some business. But we have 8 minutes to make it there, so fingers crossed and hope this Cobalt can get us where we need to go.
You got 4 minutes.
Alright, so we were making good time. We got 4 minutes left and it's literally right around this turn, and then what do you know? You get caught at the only red light.
Oh, wait, it's about to turn green.
The only freaking red light in the entire stretch of road that we've been on. And you got that guy.
Oh, zoom back out. All right, ready?
We're gonna do a pull.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's do a pull. Try not to spin too much. AutoZone's right behind that gas station right there. So we're here.
You can see the sign.
3 minutes to spare, and I'm gonna raise hell if they don't let me in.
So AutoZone didn't have, what size was it?
A 54 millimeter.
A 54 millimeter socket. AutoZone, of course didn't have it.
Just cut this shit off. Anyway, yeah, but they didn't have it. We got here on time, but they didn't have it. So what I was telling you about that I want to try is basically you take a bolt, and then you get a nut the same size and put on it, and then you tighten it down, you know, like, let me put this camera in between my legs for a second. So you got the bolt, and you, like, so here's the nut. You put the head of the bolt here and the nut here, and then you tighten them down onto it and then turn it. I don't know if it's gonna work for something with that much torque, but we can try it. I mean, it's the only thing we got. Yeah, it's the only thing we got to try. Anyway,